Hey everybody, welcome back to Walk It Out. My name is Gretchen Cannon and I have Jody Brown back with me. If you're a follower at all on this podcast, you will have heard Jody and on other episodes, but we're going to ask if you live in the eastern Oklahoma County. We are asking for 10 minutes of your undivided attention, and we are going to communicate as quickly and as concisely as we can about a fantastic opportunity for us to come together as the entire community and love on people that need assistance at Christmas. And so we are talking about the Eastern Oklahoma County Resource Center Christmas Outreach.
Yes.
And so I know that you've been involved in it for several years and you are on the board.
I am.
But let's talk a minute about what the Christmas Outreach is for, or who is it for?
It is for any of the schools that are in the Eastern Oklahoma County. So that perimeter is anything that is east of Midwest City and west of Shawnee.
Yeah.
There's like this gap where there's not a lot of help if people need assistance and things. And so I think there's like 26 schools that are involved in it. And at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the summer, we send out things to the counselors and we say, do you have any families that you've identified that are really in need this year? And then we send them invitations to participate in this. And so all they have to do is take their prepaid postage RSVP card and just drop it in the mail. And then they are part of the
outreach. Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you feel like your family qualifies in that, you need to contact your school counselor. Choctaw, Nakoma Park, Hara, Luther, Jones, McLeod. I don't think I missed any.
No, I think that's
it. Contact their school counselor and their counselor will get in touch with the resource center, and that's how this happens. But as far as the rest of us within the community, we are able to partner with the resource center in really awesome ways. Like right now, there's food drives going on all over the community. I know my boys are in this Bedlam Battle food drive at their school.
How fun.
And we just did a food drive here at Grace Church because we have a huge Thanksgiving Day outreach. So we focused in October for food for this. But we got food drives going on. There's also toy drives going on. People can donate toys. But today we really want to focus on host families. And so tell a little bit about what a host family is.
So the host family is the family or individual that is partnered with the family that's in need. And they are, in essence, the go-to person for the rest of the event. So they are the ones that contact the families, find out about the kiddos, find out just really any information they're willing to share about what other needs they may have. And then you make plans to deliver the presents and the food once you've collected all of that stuff. And then they are the ones that actually go and shop the donated toys and pick out the presents for the kids.
So you've been a host family for numerous years. My family has been as well. And then last year our staff did it together. We adopted a couple families. What does it look like when you make that first contact with the host? I mean,
so
with
this is probably
the family in need.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is probably the most intimidating part. Like people have trouble getting over the hurdle of, well, that seems like a very awkward conversation. And it doesn't have to be awkward.
Right.
And so in today's world where people get upwards of 20, 30 spam calls a day, nobody answers their phone anymore if they don't recognize your number. So it literally is just mostly a text or a voicemail that just says, hey, I'm Jody Brown. I am partnering with the EOCRC to do this Christmas outreach, and I was given your name. I would love to visit with you about your kiddos and what they're into and what they love so that I can shop appropriately for them. And then most of the time, the family will get back with you. They will either return their call or return your text. At that point, it's, in my opinion, it's good to have a phone call.
Yes.
Because it's just more personal. And the point of even the host families and why the EOCRC chose to do it this way was to have that personal connection. And so when I did it, I just called them. I tried to just break the ice a little bit. Like, tell me your kids, how old are they? Blah, blah, blah. And then you need to be prepared with some questions.
Yes.
Like, can you tell me things that your kids love? Can you tell me things your kids don't love?
Yeah. Their favorite colors.
Yeah.
I always do that. And make sure that you have their, like, age and gender, and because so many names are gender neutral. Like, we have Chris that are men and Chris that are women,
females,
right?
Right.
And the same with Terry and some of those. So making sure that you understand even the gender, what
because
they're
we want to
into.
be a blessing.
Yeah, right.
We don't want to give Bobby a pink blanket if Bobby is a 16-year-old boy.
Right.
Like, he may not appreciate that.
Yeah. And I love what you said, like, what are your kids not into? Because if our kids are into art or sports or whatever, we automatically default to picking out those gifts for it. Or maybe our grandkids.
Our lens, right.
Yeah.
It's our lens.
To where, like, they may, like, have two total sports fanatics in their house and two total artists, or their girls may not be girly girls,
right?
Or they
may
might
want to play with Legos and
do have a skateboard, right?
Right.
And so I love that, just asking them, and I always like to ask their favorite color, and it kind of like, if you've got 2 or 3 options, like maybe they're into stocking caps and beanies and stuff, and so you've got like multiple options. If you know their favorite color, then you can. You can
do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good idea also to ask their sizes.
Yes.
And that would go as far as shoes as well. Because sometimes there are items that are donated, like socks. Well, if you don't know their shoe size, socks you're just gonna have to guess.
And rollerblades. Rollerblades is a huge thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
But I know the one family that I had the year that COVID hit, she had made a comment, and it wasn't even something I asked her. It was just something she said in passing about she needed to try to get to a store and get her kids coats because they didn't have coats for the winter yet. And it was already cold. Yeah. It was already definitely coat weather. And so I just made a note, which helped me later on to ask her what size her kids wore, so that if there were coats available or myself personally, I thought I will make sure they have coats, whether I have to go out and buy them or not. Yeah. Just that they have coats. Yeah. And so.
And so let me tell you just a little bit about how this works. So she's talking about the interaction. The other thing that you want to do is schedule the day and time that you're going to come. And so the Resource Center picks 2 days, 2 evenings from like 5 to 7. They're back-to-back evenings, usually within the first 10 days of December. This year it's December 7th and 8th, if I have my notes right in my head. And 7th and 8th, you get to actually go to a specific location and you get to pick out things for their family. But if you choose to supplement that, that is perfectly fine. And so, like, there was one year when we had a family that had like 8 kids. They were a blended family, but then they had some of their own, like, together. And this 1 6-year-old, like, I always ask too, like, is there one thing that they really, really want? Because if the Resource Center happens to have that item, I want to be sure that we're getting it. Like, and this one he was really, really, really wanting a bike and asking what size they are. You know, like, are they a big 6-year-old or are they a smaller 6-year-old? Yeah. I mean, like, that's important even for a bike. And so, so my kids put their money together and they went to Walmart and bought this kid a bike because there wasn't one that particular size at the Resource Center. There were bikes, but not for that size. And I'm telling you, it did wonders for my kids. And it was so cool to watch the parents, because when we got there, like, everything's in trash bags. You don't wrap anything. You let them decide whether it comes from them or Santa. This particular family let everybody have one gift that evening, and then they saved the rest for Christmas morning. But it was so cool watching the parents, like, distract the kid while they went and hid the bike in their
Fun.
barn and,
Mhm.
all of that kind of stuff. But if you want to supplement with your own finances, you can. You can even supplement with wrapping paper and bows, and sometimes the resource center has that available, and sometimes they don't. But like you can give them things like that to be able to wrap it for their
And you
children.
can ask,
Yeah.
would you be interested? Like, is it going to be a hardship for you to wrap these presents?
Yeah.
And it's just however forthcoming the family
Yes,
is.
right,
So,
right. Well, I want to read this for you because I think this is a great description of what we're talking about. Every year, the Eastern Oklahoma County Resource Center brings the joy of Christmas to countless families in our community. The EOCRC Christmas celebration is a cherished tradition that ensures families have the resources they need to create a magical holiday season. During this heartwarming event, host families have the opportunity to select special gifts from a supply of donated toys, and those are donated from all over the community, churches, businesses, organizations, and items for each member of their assigned family, and gather the ingredients for a festive Christmas dinner, which are also donated items. You pull up to a specific location and they actually load a box of food in your car, and some of it is perishable. So like we try to deliver the day that you shop. You want to try to make that connection with the family, because there will be stuff that's frozen, there will be stuff that's
there's
cold.
meat and
There's
stuff in
meat,
there.
yeah. And it's a lot of a blessing of food. Then they then deliver the gifts and groceries to the family at their home. And like I said, this year the host shopping days are December 7th and 8th from 5 to 7. And so if you attend Grace Church, you need to contact Jody Brown, and the phone number is 405-390-1000. If you don't attend Grace Church, but you have a home church within Eastern Oklahoma County, get with them and tell them you want to be a host family, and they will contact the appropriate person there at the resource center. If you don't attend a church that's in partnership with them, or you don't attend a church but you want to be involved, contact either Jody with the number I gave you, or the Eastern Oklahoma County Resource Center here in Choctaw. And it's a great time. If you have any questions, the website is EOCRC.org, and you can find out information about this Christmas outreach. Anything else that you want to share?
It's a blessing.
It is amazing.
It's so much fun.
I want to read this to you guys also. This is one of the ladies that I walk with in discipling, and her daughter passed away last year. And she reached out to me yesterday and said, I would like to be able to communicate for those that struggle with the holidays. Maybe you fight depression or sadness or whatever. It's a really good thing to do to be a host family, because it takes your mind off of yourself and puts it on others, which obviously makes you feel better. And I was reminded of the scripture in Proverbs 11:25, where it says, the generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself. And that's what she was talking about there.
Amen.
So we took a little bit more than 10 minutes of your time, but we thank you so much for sticking with us. And we encourage you, reach out to Jody or your local church or the Eastern Oklahoma County Resource Center if being a host family is something you want to participate in. And you guys have a blessed day.